All right, good evening, everybody. Let's get started here. What's 11:31 p.m. on a Friday night? Rainy Friday night here on 11 April 2025. Um, as it says on the tin, there's some things about the 19th century, but first, so I heard from Paul Fay, and apparently we're going to have a guest at some point. I guess he hasn't reached out to me yet, but the creator of High Leverage Baseball is wanting to come on, talk about his game, and maybe talk about the pricing, whatever he wants. I think that's pretty cool, and hopefully, if he catches this after the fact, that he understands that nobody's really slamming his game. Certainly, and if YouTube would allow me to cross stream it, I would have like streamed that whole thing. But I think the community, there's a consensus, and that includes myself, that the game is very pricey. um, and you can pick four teams, and you're spending a lot of money on this game when you got comparable products that I mean, season wise, wow, just a big difference. And so I think it's important. Try to fix this here. Ugh. Anyhow, all right, so we had a little drop out there, sorry about that. It'll be interesting to see maybe what the game's developer has to say about it, especially the PDF prices for seasons, $50. Wow. So hopefully we can get him on here some nights soon, because I'd like to do that maybe before I watch the video and have him just talk about it. At some point, though, I am going to watch the video and then give you guys my complete thoughts after watching it. I never want to knock a creator. Hey, cousin Ken, so part of this stream is just for you, bud. So hang in there. Anyhow, so back to High Leverage Baseball. I want to wait to watch both the video. Well, I mean that gameplay video that we looked at last night. To see, because I don't want to. I don't want the community to, either be misinformed because again of YouTube's stupid rules or whatever. But again, when you're buying a game, when a game in a season is going to cost you $144, phew, this game better give me, I don't know, you know what I mean, right? So hopefully he'll come on. I mean, not saying it's a good game, or I'm not saying it's a bad game or whatever, but to me it seems prohibitively expensive. And I'll just repeat that I hope that what he was showing in that video last night is not the final product, because I don't think anybody in the community is going to spend that kind of money for a paper chart, even for basic plays. Man, you got to give people something for their money, because I'm going to tell you what, my friend, and again, just I think it's awesome. You develop a game. You obviously love baseball. I like the little touches that you have in there for player results and stuff like that. But you've got competition in a very niche market that, while most people sim baseball more than other sports combined, and by far, you've got to look at the price point of your competition. Um, Season ticket baseball is really lighting a lot of fires with people. To be fair, APA seasons with all players are over $90 to $100. Yeah, I do get that. But you also are getting a pretty professional product. Yeah, newer seasons. You're getting a pretty professional looking product, though, with APA. And I think even more importantly, you're getting a proven game engine. So, you know what? People are going to buy APA, and they're going to buy Strat. Okay. But you have, um, what I thought before was expensive in terms of even just digitally. I'm not going to spend $26.95 a season for PC Replay Baseball. That's not happening. Um, not when there are games out there like Action PC, um, that offer awesome things. So I won't even talk about out of the park baseball. We know where we're coming with that. So I'm hoping that he'll come on, talk about the reasoning for his price point, because yeah, as Ken says here, we don't even know the new game's DNA yet, and that's what the new game's DNA is. That's very, very true. I did find it curious with so many roles for just one type of play, and the only difference in the roll of the dice was the sort of play result, which again I think is a cool touch. I think that's probably one of the game's strengths for me. If I were to sink that kind of money into it, I'd be like, hey, this is really cool. Wow, I'm getting a kind of a play by play that I can read and immerse me in the game, and that's nice. That is absolutely cool. But that price point, man, and when you think about games like on the other end, when you got Pocket Pennant Run that gives you free software, and if you just want to do the minimum of $14.99, you never have to buy another season again. And you got a damn fine baseball game. Um, yep, Strat Napa, they've been established though. I mean, 63 and 73 years old. Respectively. You've got Inside Pitch, Payoff Pitch. Their PDF seasons are $9. $9. Um, so it'll be interesting to see, because if you're going to take on the big guys, and why not? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Certainly, payoff pitch baseball I don't think is even that expensive. But I'm just curious what the game has to offer, and to go into a very niche market and expect people to pay a pretty exorbitant price and just get four teams. Maybe you might want to think about maybe just throwing in a season. Get people to play your game. There's a lot of cards and dice players in this community, even though they hang out with those of us that do pretty much all digital baseball. Um, I want to get back into cards and dice, and I mean, right now it's going to be Status Pro, thanks to Digital Diamond 13. But I do want to get back to playing APA and things as well. Clinton Park says, and then there is the cheapskate. Right. Yeah. So National Pastime. Let's talk about that for a second. So National Pastime Next Generation Plus. All right. Tons of seasons for that. It's basically an APA. It's basically APA, right? And then you've got Status Pro Baseball, exactly, and Status Pro also is going to be integrated, and not only integrated into version 13 of Digital Diamond Baseball as its own game, but I will also say that you will now have the ability to actually print Status Pro baseball cards for your actual Status Pro game. So Mark Cohen is doing something really amazing out there, and he's the one that's talked about why charge for seasons when the data are available. And I really think it's going to be a hard sell to get people to spend $49.99 on PDFs, and I forget what the price is for the printed cards. And I would just say this, man, those cards better be some good quality card stock, because one thing that people go off about Strat is the flimsiness of the cards. And if you're coming out with flimsy cards, and somebody has spent this large amount of money on your game, which doesn't even have a game board, I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, because when you get into big, high end, like so non baseball board games, so I'm thinking of like Frosthaven, right? Frosthaven's like $150, but I have Gloomhaven. I will be getting Frosthaven at some point, and it is coming out digitally. But Frosthaven, when you look at the components of games like Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, um, Mage Knight, Sword and Sorcery, Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle Earth, you're getting beautiful artwork, quality components. Um, they are more expensive games, but people are buying them, and so many board gamers, components mean a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So again, my reservation is about that price point, and I think that's been the consensus thus far in the community. I know some guys have watched the video by now. I'm going to wait because I would really like to have you on, and it will be a polite, nice conversation. Have a chance. You have a chance to talk about the game as much as you want, and but I think it'd be also an opportunity maybe to for you to market your game a bit, and just maybe explain to the community why they would spend X amount of dollars, lots of dollars, and 4 seasons or four teams. I'm sorry, 4 teams. Buy game, no seasons. I mean, guys, when they buy games, most of these cards and dice players in here. Hey, there's Paul saying good morning from Cyprus. John DFW joining us as well. So let me just move this over here a little bit so I can see chat better. All right, so Parallel League says he plays a lot of fast inning baseball with some home brews. The price is right. Fast inning baseball is awesome. That's Al Wilson's game, by the way, guys. In case you don't know about that, it's free. Al Wilson, a good guy, always giving back to the community and giving back to great projects and stuff like that. So Ken Castro says, devil's advocate, if you invest 2 or 3 years in a project with the same set you spend $100 for, price per hour begins to make sense. Of course, if you do a few one-offs with it, then it's not. So, and that's the thing. So yeah, how much is a movie for an hour, for example? I mean, I think it's a valid argument. Ken, I would just say, yeah, we're talking about high leverage for a few minutes, and we're going to jump into some things about 19th century baseball. And we're going to have cousin Ken Castro make a choice because I've been promising him for a long time that we were going to do an 1884 Providence Grays project, and I'll explain when we get there. I just want to finish talking about high leverage baseball. Again, I don't know if it's a good game or a bad game. I really, really don't. But even if it's a good game, if I had created the game, I'd want to sell it, and I'm curious about that price point. I can't help it. John says he's a big Civil War buff and have many board games, $100 to $250 range. Yep, I know you, Paul. Thank you. Steve Shaw, who is the creator of the game, is going to contact me, and I hope he does. Again, I want him to talk about it. I think it's great, and who knows, maybe we're going to find something amazing there, and I hope so. But again, this is such a crowded field. Pardon the pun. It's such a crowded field that I'm really, I think, how do you justify that price point? Again, capitalism says, well, what the market will bear, right? And there are going to be folks out there that will be, yeah, I'm going to sink $150 into this thing for one season and a baseball game. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not knocking those folks at all, but remember, man, again, we are geeks even among gamers. We're like out there. We're still the pocket protector guys with the funny glasses, even if we don't wear them. So, yeah, again, those are all good arguments. But here's the thing, cousin, and I know you're playing devil's advocate here. I get it. Okay. So, are all you clowns in trouble? Your microphone works. And unfortunately, Clinton, I'm not using StreamYard tonight. I'm using OBS. So, we'll have to save it for tomorrow night if we do our little chin wag tomorrow night. And I'd love to do it. Maybe we'll have a Providence Grays game going in the background. So yeah, I mean, how much is a movie? How much is a Broadway show? If you want to go see David Copperfield, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. But then I would ask you this: if you let's say you go to see somebody like David Copperfield, right? Most people never see. Now, as a close-up magician, I know that most people go through their lives never having seen close-up magic live. And so many of my audiences are like, wow, I've seen magic on TV, but this is amazing live. And I'm doing a 1 hour show and that's it. But they have a memory for a lifetime. But to compare what you're seeing, and then for illusionists, even fewer people get to see top-notch illusion shows, right? Because you've got to go to a theater for those. Whereas close-up magic, people that have weddings, or more people are booking magicians. You can go to restaurants and see close-up magic, professional caliber. So I'm not talking about Uncle Bill doing the 21 card trick. I'm talking about the stuff that I do. And hopefully you get to meet up with Ken and a few guys. You'll see what I do and why I did it, and will be doing it again professionally. Not that I'm tooting my horn and saying that I'm any good, but people paid me, so pretty regularly. But back to gaming, right? If we keep our discussion just within gaming, And again, so John bringing that point, I'm looking at a great game right now, and I bought both big expansions for it. Folklore of the Affliction. One of the coolest games you can ever play. It's gothic dark fantasy. It's amazing. It's amazing. Um, God, I don't know, man. So many of these things. Some of them are very, very expensive, but the components are beautiful. Even the Lord of the Rings, the living card game, is the artwork is beautiful. It's up there with Magic the Gathering, and Magic the Gathering is a big money sink, believe me. Whew. But look what you're getting. So we'll see. We'll see, man. We will see. All right, now, moving on to the 19th century. All right. I did a little bit of research with Out of the Park baseball. And the problem with the 19th century is this, and they haven't worked around this yet. To be able to do the 19th century and Out of the Park baseball, you have to start. You start in 1871, and as the league evolves, you have to manually change things because there are so many teams in and out of. It's almost like doing Negro leagues in a way. So in out of the park baseball, the reason that we were seeing players on the wrong teams is the 19th century doesn't work properly. It's great for draft leagues. Now that being said, after I signed off last night, I thought I want to look at some other baseball games, and we're going to start with a humble one here, but a legend. This game is a legend in sports gaming, and you'll be happy